Cheers to Beers and Bucks. This is not a new product launch. Old Spinner. He had like 3 in a row where we had no issues, so it was bound to happen. It is episode 24. Welcome to Beers and Bucks.
Here we are.
Got the Shed Dog in attendance today.
Wish we had a new product launch, but not today.
We'll have some new products next year, but this is not the time nor place. This is
what you call a typo.
Just a 20-year-old thinking about deer. He's got a North Dakota tag, so all he's been thinking about is North Dakota, which I can understand.
We'll let it slide this time, but it's not excusable.
Yeah, that's fair. We got Timmy the Turnip in attendance today, too.
Timmy the Turnip.
Nice for Timmy to join us. We'll talk about Timmy later. Timmy came from a special place. It'll blow your mind. But what a fun day. We just talked about how long it's been since we've been here.
I know.
3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is. We try to do once a month.
It's gone so fast, but it seems like so long ago.
It is wild and crazy in here. It's been ever since the 4th of July. That's kind of the tipping point. And it is balls to the wall. It's been good, but it's been crazy. You can tell people are getting excited. We've had a ton of rain here, and there's too much rain in some places and not enough in other places. It's a typical summer. So we'll try to talk about planting and kind of our philosophies on it. We're kind of gray people, not black and white people, which is good because summer's unpredictable. So it's good to be a little flexible in your planting. We'll talk about that. We got a rapid fire, or not so rapid when Timmy's turn to talk.
Well, dude, we're already halfway through July.
It's crazy.
It seems like it was just the 4th, and we had actually some rain this week.
It's
and
been weird.
Looks like we might have some rain next week. I think it's, in a lot of cases, it's pushing up those timelines where we normally would wait until, August to get a lot of our fall plots in, and you're sitting here and you're looking at the forecast, and who knows? I mean, we could get into August and not have rain for the entire month, and then you don't have germinate. Granted, the water tables are full now, around us at least, but we're like full tilt at the proving grounds, just socking them in, because right now we have rain in the forecast and pretty mild temps, and time to get them in.
Yeah, I've said this for the last however long we've had this podcast. August 20th is my favorite date to plant. But this year, I'm probably going to put some in late August or late July. But then think about the last couple of years. It's been 70s through October. So I think the planting window is even bigger than it used to be. I think September is a free game in Wisconsin. Honestly. The patterns have seemed to change a little bit. And we're in like old school June, and next month is July, and then it's August, and then everything shifted like a month. So I think you've got 3 months to plant. Call me crazy.
What's your wacky weather guy prediction for this winter?
Oh gosh, I haven't looked, but I got to think we're going to get a bunch of snow, because think about what happened with the rain. We didn't get rain for 70 straight days, and then now we're going to. I think the same is going to be happening this winter.
Is it going to be mild, or is it going to be cold?
I think it's going to be freezing cold and a ton of snow. We're just going to get rocked.
I'm not looking forward to that.
I'm just guessing, because it just seems to be that Mother Nature says, I'm going to pass on weather this year, and then next year just brings it all.
Yeah.
Look at the flooding and the tornadoes and all the crap that's gone on this year. My God.
Chicago had a tornado last night.
And there's a whole bunch of Illinois is flooding. Dams are bursting all over the country. It's crazy. So, Mother Nature, can you just send some in August?
That would be nice.
Is that too much to ask?
We do got to highlight, Hop and Barrel did a little logo redesign on a bunch of their cans. Same with the Lemon Breaker. I think that's new.
Oh yeah, she's a doozy.
Yeah, this one's really cool. Looks like, I thought it was a penguin at first, but it turns out it's a loon.
It does look like a penguin. That's a loon. Badger. Yeah, that makes sense. The loon and the badger, yeah.
The loon and the badger.
I love Illinois. Wisconsin shirt.
Oh, that's
funny.
This is the Minnesotan, my fan favorite, and I've already had one. I think I'll try just one more.
Yeah.
And they're pretty good little critters. Thank you to Hop and Barrel again for continuing to sponsor our wackiness that is Beers and Bucks.
Yeah, powered by Hop and Barrel. How cool is that? They've been our sponsor for 2 straight years. We've held the sponsor for more than a year.
Look at us go.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty neat deal.
I actually had a Minnetonka in the boat on Sunday when we went out muskie fishing, and I'm pretty sure that's what inspired all of our luck.
You guys caught some nice muskies.
2.
Was it last episode or the one before? Timmy said he liked muskie fishing better than hunting deer, which is fine. But then I gave him shit because I said, "You mean muskie?" Well, I didn't say muskie catching or fishing because you don't catch them normally. Normally, you're just the guy in the boat netting them. But this time, it was your turn.
My turn.
It was your turn to catch the big one.
Not in my boat. And Marcus,
I think that's the ticket.
this was the first time I've ever seen this in my muskie fishing career. Marcus's first cast, he catches a muskie.
The first cast of the day.
First cast of the day.
That's a good sign.
Catches a 42-inch, but in pure Marcus standards, it had a hunched back and it had a really goofy eye.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Did he snag it?
No.
Okay. All right.
But it was the weirdest looking fish I've ever seen. But that was a little bit of a 2 or 3 year slump buster for him. And the last one I caught was with him 2 summers ago, and mine was 49, and it just absolutely crushed my bait. And yeah, I was losing my mind in the boat.
Yeah.
Third biggest muskie I've ever caught.
It looked like a smoker. And now all your friends know where you caught it because you took a big picture wide angle with the house in the background.
Yeah, Minnetonka is known for its really small houses.
That thing was not small.
That's the lake where you drive around, and literally we're gonna go with Greg here this fall, and it's one where you drive around and you look at these they're not even houses. The one house is 42,000 square feet. The guest house is like 9,000, and you're like, who has this much money? And then you get to the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and you're like, how are there this many people that have that much money? It's wild.
A lot of football players and basketball players, apparently.
I think you'd be hard pressed unless you're Aaron Rodgers to afford those houses, like or Mahomes, like big time contracts. These are, crazy.
Those guys in the NBA now are signing for like $250 million or some crazy ass thing.
Yeah,
do people actually watch the NBA? Like, where does all that revenue come from?
You gotta account for taxes there.
Sorry, yeah. So he's only clearing like 190. Bummer, dude. Oh gosh, thanks for joining us, everybody. I used to be able to run through all the names on here, but now they're coming in so fast that I can't.
Well, I think you've lost a step with your ability to name, state, and location.
Well, I used to. Yeah.
You used to be really good at that. Now you're not.
I used to have to remember like 20 of them.
But Mike also
I have to remember more
announced his Jimmy John order. We got the boys some subs, and he doesn't get mayo on his sub. He just dry dogs his sub. It's like, what are we doing? You got to have a little mayo, mustard, something.
Why would you ruin a good sub with mayo?
You don't put anything on it. Like, you got to put something on that thing. It's just ham, cheese.
No, it was not ham. It was turkey.
Turkey, cheese.
Tomato?
No condiment.
This was my condiment.
I just didn't know that was a thing.
It was fantastic.
I got mine was the #1 from Jimmy John's.
Yeah, I'll be 40 next month, so just
extra mayo.
I'll be 40 next month, so just let the elderly guy do his thing.
Gone this whole time not knowing that you're just dry dogging subs.
Why would you ruin it with mayo?
I don't know.
I
feel
Cam
like
probably didn't have mayo either.
Cam probably had extra mayo.
Cam orders a sub and then has like 14 no's after it. Mayo was one of the things he said yes to. All right. It's hard to keep everybody happy around here.
You might as well just get the bread.
I go to the place and buy everybody subs, and I just get yelled at for not eating mayo.
I just thought it was weird.
Exactly. I'm with Steve Hogan. Do you put steak sauce on your steak?
No.
I don't put.
Not if it's cooked right.
Exactly. Well, Jimmy John's did a hell of a job cooking my sub. Didn't need any sauce. Why would you ruin a good sub with sauce? Why do you ruin a good steak with sauce? Right? Steve, thank you.
I do appreciate
Steve deserves a free hat for being my guy.
Sometimes you get the blue cheese crumble on the steak.
Ooh.
That can be nice touch.
That's a little rush. See, Pat Waller, why don't you go tell Pat he's dumb?
Mayo is disgusting.
Tell it right to his face.
I would never. Pat's the guy that he's kind of reminds me of the Hulk.
He would crush you.
You don't want to see him when he's
got a sweet Dirty Bird plot going right now too.
Oh yeah,
it's like shoulder high. It's pretty solid. We've seen a bunch of good Dirty Bird plots on Domain Nation's rocking. So thanks everybody who goes on Domain Nation. We try to stay off there. Every once in a while we post on there, but we kind of like the voice of the people to be heard. We just pipe in every once in a while. I posted about Wingman the other day because I love that mix and I don't talk about it enough. So I'm going to talk about it tonight too, but it's been pretty cool. Just scroll through Domain Nation and all the Dirty Bird and the Incognitos and the Mother Loads and the Comeback Kids and the Hot Chicks. And in a couple of months, it's going to be a whole bunch of Nebraska mixes. And then in a month after that, it's going to be a whole bunch of dead deer. Like it's the coolest page ever. So
what's interesting about Incognito, because like we put it in at optimal time. We didn't we put fertilizer down. We went back. Jake came with the sprayer. We sprayed it one time. Didn't do any weed control, and you kind of watch your Incognito getting established, and it's like, okay, like, is it coming? And all of a sudden, like, I forgot some of the spots where I put Incognito, because it's at that point now where roots are established. Now it's starting to shoot up.
Ready for some freight train.
I mean, some of it's like shoulder height already, and like the rest of it's probably hip high, maybe a little bit higher, and it's like perfect time to go hit it with freight train. Brought some back from the shop, so we're gonna go get that done and give it the nitrogen boost.
Start out Incognito with cranked, give it the potassium and phosphorus to grow the roots and the stems, then hit it with freight train. Take it from 3 feet to 15 feet. It's got to build a base first. So oftentimes with that sort of thing, we pour so much urea on it, and then it gets really fat and tall and stocky and falls over.
These look like freaking legit
That's
corn
why
stalks.
I'd rather people call me like, gosh, this thing just isn't growing fast enough. Let it establish and then hit it. And that's the cool thing about freight train. It's got the slow release and the fast release and the slow release. Like hit it with urea and then got the slow release behind it. So
I just got an impromptu question here. Thoughts on mixing mother load and radishes?
I actually told your dad to do this when he came in yesterday with this sheet of things to do, because here's the cool thing about planting mother load right now. 70 to 120 days of maturity means those beans are brown when your farm beans, those beans are green when your egg beans are brown. Throw in some radishes, you could throw in a multitude of things, and I love it. I like planting mother load later than some humans because of egg country. Everyone's like, what do you do in egg country? What don't you do?
Well, especially once those beans come off. I mean, they'll hit it for
so many options.
You know, those bean pickers are getting so efficient that kind of when they're off, you'll see them come out.
Them old bean pickers.
But then it's like, where do they go? You know?
Yeah. So, Paul, I would 100% go for it. I would plant the mother load. I would drag it in, and then I would plant the radishes over the top of it. Probably how I would do it. Although radishes are pretty tough, they can bust through about anything. So, but full send on that bad boy. Ryan Nordahl, what out-of-state whitetail hunts are on your plates? We got some Kentucky tags burning a hole in our pocket.
I am still bummed about the no Montana elk, but I'm just out of my mind to get back to whitetail crossing. I look forward to that hunt every year.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you should look forward to it. You're 100% success rate, you a-hole.
I got a good guide, man. He's just, I just listen to my guide. He tells me where to go.
I have never once given him guidance. And except for the one day when I said I'm burnt out on going in the blind, but then he sucked somebody else in there and they didn't kill. So,
well, I mean, hey.
I technically dodged a bullet on the one time I defied him.
I just do what I'm told. Normally get the sluggo stand that nobody else wants, and it works out pretty good.
I'm going to just whack one this year.
I hope you do. I hope you guys all kill. I'll happily be the only guy sitting in the tree on Thursday night or Wednesday night or whatever the last night is.
That's been me every year.
Hey, I'll take your spot.
You guys are doing bourbon tours, and Jake wanted to go see that dress factory or whatever he was talking about.
Bourbon tours.
Sitting here like, yeah, this is great.
Done a few bourbon tours. I mean, you're hunting. You can't complain.
I can't complain.
You're in God's country hunting.
Yeah. Well, no, it's
bourbon country.
Bourbon and
hillbillies.
Hillbilly country.
Love that. Ghosts, all the things. Where else? I got a Kansas tag this year too.
You did?
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Geez.
And then we drew Montana elk tags. It's gonna be a busy fall.
You're going to Montana too? Why am I just finding this out?
This is hunting season, bro. It's time to hunt. Not now, but soon it will be. And then you and I have Colorado. Well, we should draw a Colorado tag the following year.
I'm ready.
Bring it on. Bring it on. Oh, we've got I don't know if you saw it earlier, but we made a post on our domain page earlier for our little rapid fire round.
I do want to hit Logan's question. Would incognito be beneficial in wooded plots? Probably not, Logan. It needs full sun. So, I mean, if it's on an edge where it's getting like 70% sun, something like that, you'd probably be okay, but that's not one that's going to handle shade very well at all. I love the idea of it, but a lot of times what people are doing is like hinge cutting on their edges and things like that. But wouldn't recommend it if it's like in the woods.
It'd be tough. If you send us a picture and there was a bunch of sun in there, it might work, but maybe try something like jet millet. I mean, it's not going to get as tall, but it's a little more tolerant.
Should we talk about this turnip?
Timmy
the turnip.
T-Man?
Our mascot.
All right, so this guy here, we get a lot of questions about like how well your plots grow, where can I plant them, how should I plant them. Jake pulled this out of our parking lot. It's literally growing in the crack out of our parking lot from our Smackdown mix. So I think we can safely say that Smackdown is easy to plant, grows anywhere, and you can no-till it. It literally is growing in our parking lot.
Is there proof?
Asphalt.
Is there proof that Jake didn't go put that seed in?
Walk out the door, take a left-hand turn. The whole side of the building is a food plot because we clean some things out there and seed gets
I'm pretty sure Connor probably appreciates that.
They hate it. They normally mow it and chop it. So there was a radish that was growing in the back building or the back door for like a year, and every day the UPS guy would come in, he'd stomp on it, and by the next day it was like, whoop.
So quit stomping on that
thing. It's like, dude, let our food plot be. Oh gosh. So yeah, I mean it's funny to walk in our parking lot and just kind of chuckle because it literally is a food plot growing in the cracks of the asphalt. We haven't done anything to it other than spill the seed. So I mean, Smackdown's a good one to think about. Old Timmy there came from it. We'll put him back to his home here later. Jake can replant it. See if maybe we can get those roots to take again. But oh yeah, it's pretty funny. Pretty funny.
One thing I did want to give a little update on is the backyard food plot. Maybe I should get some pictures of it this week. We put in, let's see, we put in Hot Chick and we put in Bombshell.
Yeah.
And we put Bombshell in as the cover crop to help the clovers get established. We didn't do any weed control. And when you see the pictures on my Tacticam, all it looks like is grasses coming up, which there's a shit ton of grasses coming up.
There are grasses, absolutely.
It is not like we're going to get a bunch of really sweet pictures. Once you get in close, though, and you get down below those grasses, the amount of brassicas and clover that are coming up, there's deer in there every day, and we were debating it today. Jake and I were texting this morning, like, we should really go spray that plot with clethodim and get rid of the grasses, and or you wait for those clovers to flower and then we go in and mow it. Regardless, next year those clovers are coming back. We're going to have an awesome clover plot. We'll be able to mow it.
Then you can apply herbicides if you have to.
Yeah, I am heavily leaning towards just leaving it. The bucks don't care. There's a bachelor group of bucks in there every day. There's a doe and fawns, like they're in it every day, and they don't really care. We've talked about this before, about like, yes, everyone wants that like picture perfect, beautiful plot, but like this one, we literally had one night to do it. We went in, I had mowed it, we tilled it, planted it, and now we've got an awesome food source. So I think not everyone has an infinite amount, like we've been pressed for time this year. We haven't been able to do, like my dad's been doing bulk of the work down at our property. By bulk, I mean all. I just haven't been able to get down there with the baby and new house, and it's just like been nuts. But you don't necessarily need that picture perfect plot. They can still produce really good. Now, some cases those weeds will really choke them out. That wasn't the case, thankfully. I think Bombshell had a lot to do with that, just how fast it germinates.
It's the perfect nurse crop.
But you know, it did exactly what we wanted it to do. The clovers are established. The brassicas are there. They're still going to eat those native grasses. It's not like they're not going to, but I just think it's like a good testament for guys that like, oh, I don't have a lot of time, or I can only get down to my lease. Like my Joe, who did my landscaping, he's got a land down in Missouri.
Nice.
It's like, it's not like I can make it down there like every weekend to do the work. I got one shot to go do it. It's just kind of a testament to that. It doesn't really matter necessarily.
I think that plays into a couple of questions we've had too. I know somebody asked, can I seed big, sexy, and hot chick? if you reach out to us on Facebook, email, phone calls, whatever, we often talk about integrating perennials and annuals together in the fall. It's a great time to plant perennials, and it kind of distracts us from those slow growing perennials because we have fast growing annuals growing up above them. So they can act as a great nurse crop. So virtually all of our brassica mixes can be interseeded with Comeback Kid or Hot Chick. Or we've got a mix called Sugar Mama, or we've got Bosper, we've got Hall Pass that already do it for you. But I see this question a lot, like, can I mix them? And honestly, yeah, it's great. Because we're idiots, and when we plant clover in the spring, we just stare at it all day wondering why it's not growing so fast. In the fall, we forget about it because the big sexy's growing. When you peel back the onion, you've seen it at your place. Remember when we had the Sugar Mama and you kind of like peeled back the onion? It was like, oh my God, it's a carpet of clover and chicory.
Tons.
And then next spring, it's an amazing established clover plot that you can frost seed into. So this is a great time to plant perennials, not necessarily now, but this fall. Perennials along with your annuals.
Well, 2 weeks ago, I was down at, and this is a 2-year project. It was 2022 in the fall. We put Sugar Mama in target field. We wanted to convert a big field. I mean, it's probably at least a half acre, maybe 3/4. I haven't measured it.
Just under an acre, probably.
And we put Sugar Mama in, and then last spring we went in and frost seeded it. This spring, Spency went by on his way home from work and frost seeded it again, and it is like the best, except for some of the spots that Spencer missed. It's a really good looking.
He was probably busy.
Plot.
His phone was probably pinging him.
Yeah.
He's got a North Dakota tag.
Well, he's on TikTok.
Like, oh deer. Oh, deer.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it's one of the thick, and there's so many deer out there. Like, I know we talk about that all the time too, because everyone likes to put their big brassica plots in. Like, we neglect a lot of times these awesome clover plots.
Absolutely.
And that's probably the reason. Is they aren't exactly the easiest to get established, because
tricky, yeah.
planting in the spring is challenging. You're fighting a lot of weeds, you're fighting a lot of new growth. Getting it established in the fall, those clovers are going to outpace a lot of those weeds next spring. And a lot of cases, like, you can spray it before you put Sugar Mama in or some of those mixes, and then boom, you've got that clover plot established, and you can mow it for weed control, which is what we're doing.
Yeah, and Comeback Kid is, I don't want to say it is, but it's damn near as cold tolerant as any one of our brassica mixes. It will stay green through our gun season in Wisconsin. I can promise you that. And we get it a lot. Like, what can I plant in a small plot? I got a ton of deer. They eat everything. Once you get perennial established, they just keep growing.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. Can't see the guys. Karshbaum, maybe your internet's not working. Karshbaum just stepped in and said he can't see.
Down in Durand, they still have those, like,
What the who?
You have to pull, like, crank a few times, fire up the old.
Oh yeah. I saw one on here though. I saw a question I wanted to answer quickly. Maybe we'll get into our little rapid fire. But it said, when should I mow my Hot Chicken Comeback Kid plot the last time? It's a great question, and it's not black and white either. But what I like to try to do with my clover plots is, so when clover is growing, that's when deer like it the most because it's the highest in protein, that fresh growth, they love it. So say you were going to hunt the weekend of September 20th. Mow it right prior to that to encourage that fresh growth and have those deer come in. Like I said, I honestly think you're going to be able to have food plots growing through October. That's kind of been the norm lately. Jared Van Elsen said Labor Day, another good opportunity. You've got plants growing during that first several weeks of season. But I would plan it based on how you're going to hunt it, because deer are going to, trust me, go mow your clover plot and then watch your camera explode. It happens every single time because that fresh growth is the highest in nutrition, and deer are crazy.
Oh yeah.
Why are deer in my recharge? Because they're growing. They need it.
Yeah.
And in areas where, like, you got this guy sending you a picture and it's a big pine forest, and then there's like 3 big bucks eating his recharge. Like, well, yeah, because where you live, Mother Nature doesn't have much for nutrients.
Yeah.
So they have to come there to get it. And, like, we're not going to promise you that pour out recharge you're going to grow 200-inch deer. That's not how it works. I know, right, Sam? What the hell? Sam's been just false hope this whole time.
I wish that worked that way.
Right, me too. But what it does is it builds the foundation of antler growth, body growth, disease prevention, immune system support. And when you can start deer on it young and they get a head start on their friends, and they start off healthy, when they're a 5-year-old, they've had such a head start.
Well,
so
when some, like, I think it's so much of like what, look at the ag crops around, like how tall are they? Like what kind of nutrients do you have in your soil? And like, that's why boosting your pH and that's so important. But
absolutely,
like if you don't have the nutrients, it's challenging, but they find them somewhere. But also genetics aren't the same everywhere, etc. But remember Dave Richmond, this was probably like a month ago when he was on his property and he was hitting a bunch of his plots with liquid courage. He wasn't just hitting his plots. He was hitting all of the undergrowth, all the browse,
which I love.
And like how much of their diet is made up of browse? Tons. And I think there's just so many areas where they get their nutrition. Obviously, food plots provide a ton of food, a ton of forage. They can be a good spot to concentrate deer, but they're also not spending 100% of their day on your food plot. They're in the woods. They're eating browse and foraging. So. Yeah, it's interesting.
They have a very diverse palate, if you will. Greens is just one of them. The tubers is just one of them. Corn is just one of the things. Browse is a huge part.
I would be so easy to kill if I was a deer. Like I'm pretty much like if Basic Bitch was a deer, like that would be me. Like Coors Light, maybe some meat and potatoes.
If you hunted or if you lived where it was quality deer management, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
You'd just be safe.
Yeah, they're like, look at him. Like,
well, actually, he's like a 10-year-old. Yeah, he's fine. Just let him go. Yeah.
Got like mediocre 13-inch biceps.
He's past his prime.
We could break out the tape. I think there's still 13s, but
13s, huh?
Yeah, it's
millimeters, centimeters.
I would definitely. You wouldn't probably survive.
Well, I wouldn't just walk out of the big sexy field at 4 p.m. either.
I don't know about that.
Timmy, yeah. I would survive. Yeah, exactly. He'd be out there strutting his stuff for all the does in town. And just thwack.
Maybe College Tim. Ooh. College Tim, I was like a good Pope and Young.
Yeah, just like a nice 125.
Yeah, but I just I
chasing every doe in town. Peeing on every scrape.
I peaked. It's like you just don't ever really go any higher than that. Never grew to a booner. And
not every deer is going to be a booner.
I'm like that decrepit 6-pointer. It's like the one that's like.
So that you wouldn't be safe where I hunt. Because that's the first one. It's like, yes, that one. That old gnarly 6-pointer that's just.
Maybe I got a little drop time though. One that you're like, maybe that'll come in better next year.
Just passed.
And then the following year it comes in exactly the same.
Oh God. All right, before we get into rapid fire, I do want to take a second. I've got this little food plot that I want to talk about, and I'm going to put Wingman in it. We talked about Wingman on Domain Nation last week, so I want to bring it up again because it's in a little jug, and I feel like it's just kind of getting left in the dark between Big Sexy and Smackdown and Green Machine, and all of our mixes have been around for 5 or 6 years now. And Wingman is such a cool, unique product that we just launched this year, so we haven't talked about it a whole lot because Domain Nation hasn't had the chance to use it a bunch, so it's going to be, you're more like a half rack, right?
I won't debate it.
So I've got this awesome stand of, it's a half acre of clover. And it's the best clover plot that I've ever planted in my life. It is knee high, it's incredible. But I'm going to till up half of it because I'm afraid to till up all of it because things get droughty around here. And I'll put Wingman in. I planted Wingman in the same exact plot last year, and this big giant deer that I was hunting was in it the first 3 nights of season in daylight when I was gone. So I'm going to do it again. And I swear, I don't know if it's the kohlrabi, I'm not smart enough to know, or if it's the hybrid Brassica, but whatever it is, that combination of things seems to trigger deer like nothing I've seen before. So I'm going to put it in all of my plots in front of me. I haven't killed a deer in Wisconsin with my bow in several years.
Well, it would help if you hunted.
True.
Too busy going to Africa, going for caribou.
I don't hunt deer in April here.
But it's true.
I was hunting caribou, not killing, when the Houdini, the big giant, was there.
You should have just had some. It's got kemosabe in it.
Kohlrabi.
It's a good.
Kemosabe is a famous Native American
No proof.
Yeah.
That's what, when we tested it on the property, I kept calling it Kemosabe.
You
but
did.
It's kohlrabi.
You did. Kohlrabi, yeah.
Kohlrabi.
Which is it? He still can't say it. Kohlrabi? Oh, God. This guy. I tell you. But I'm telling you, it's one of those things. I'm excited to watch Domain Nation this year to just kind of see everybody's thoughts about its success with it. Dan Rail planted in Kentucky last year. I posted that too, and he kept saying like, "Dude, I don't know what's in this thing, but I think they're walking through all my other stuff to get to it." There are these alien-looking plants. They're wild. They love the tops. They love the bottoms.
Well, it's just it's kind of like green. It's kind of like green machine when it germs and the winter peas start sprouting,
yeah.
and literally you'll just watch deer just go chip, 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 start chipping away at it. It's different plants are palatable at different stages of their growth too.
Absolutely.
And that's why I think, everyone always asks, like, because they want to make it their own unique mix, right? And like they want to try something new. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just mind your seed rates, especially if you're messing with brassicas. If you mix brassicas in a clover mix, like you can get away with it a little bit better. But certainly,
poor Robbie, he's just in trouble right now.
Who's Robbie?
I don't know, but you said Killer Robbie, so everybody's like, "Oh,
Is Kilo Robbie.
Kyle Robbie."
Kyle Robbie. Rest in peace, Robbie.
Tim won a co-ed dodgeball 5th place ribbon in college. Hashtag.
That's actually true.
I'm sure it is.
But I did hit the most dingers in intramural softball too. So.
Can you answer a question for me? Because I honestly don't know the answer. What color is the 5th place ribbon? Yellow?
I don't know that I have too many fifth place. I have
Oh God.
I have a lot of brown. I don't know what color that is. Like,
it's not blue.
If you go
Purple.
yeah. If you go to the hall that my parents built for me, for all my accolades, there's just a lot of brown ribbons.
Well,
I did get that 6th place wrestling trophy, but that's.
I thought we determined it was a 4th place.
It was 4th place.
And there was only 4.
Yeah.
But it wasn't 6th, it was 4th.
I dug up a couple more in the move. I'll have to show you. I found some of my old pictures.
Someday I wouldn't mind just sitting and reminiscing about some of that stuff.
Yeah. Maybe we can do it.
I'd love to do that. All right, let's do it. So we did our little prequel or precursor to this with our drop your questions here on our Facebook page. Camden is going to select randomly with his random selector 2 people on here. Timmy's going to decide what they win. But we're going to answer some of these questions rapidly. 1 to 10 words. Maybe 20 or 30.
I'll try my best.
Okay? So, needs to be quick, okay? And then we'll come back through later on and give you more.
Maybe next time, just
answer
describe it in pictures. That's how I interpret it better
100%.
with pictures.
All right, Tim, you ready?
Yep.
What is your dream hunt? Rapid fire. We call this rapid fire.
Well, I know, but I got to think for a second.
Oh, God. Should I answer a couple while you're thinking?
What is your dream hunt?
New Mexico elk. In the rut. Bull screaming. Hair on the back of my neck raised. Full draw. 400-inch bull. Bam!
I think mine is going after, what is it, British Columbia, where you get those giant moose.
Oh, yeah. The big, 60 inchers.
Yeah.
Yukon.
Yeah, that or Alberta. One of those giant whitetails.
It's so cold up there. Actually, that's Saskatchewan. That's cold. Alberta's got the giant muleys.
Yeah. That would be fun.
Lots of dream hunts for Timmy. I hope you go on all of them. What can you plant?
What about prairie dogs in South Dakota?
I don't know why we call this rapid fire.
Let's get a booner. I could shoot a booner prairie dog.
I know. We're gonna have to change it. What should we call this? New Zealand. I'm all for hunting stag. Sounds like a fun thing.
The
to
slow
hunt.
poke stroke.
Yeah. All right. What can you plant since we have so much water on our food plots? I would wait, Brian. I would wait for them to dry out. You've got 2 months in Marathon County. If it remains wet, perennials are the best. Come back, hit hot chick, no BS, something along those lines.
Did you just know where somebody lived?
He said Marathon County, Wisconsin.
Oh, I thought you called that.
So technically.
I don't have any.
What do you recommend I plant this fall in northern Wisconsin, Timmy? Tim to Tim. Northern Wisconsin, what do you plant?
I love no BS up there.
Boom. I love that everywhere. With the mild winter and wet spring, do you think there will be a big jump this year in antler growth? More natural browse, less stress. In theory, yes. I also did see somebody write an article or do a research study about drought years and how they're on their farm in Iowa, the biggest jump years are the drought years. I didn't read into it enough to understand why, but he had certain deer that when it was wet they grew less and when it was dry they grew more. Crazy. Again, I'm not smart enough to know. I don't have any big deer around, so I can't tell you if they've jumped or not.
Getting kind of yappy.
So that was still faster than you just thinking about your dream hunt.
I think this is going to be a good leap year.
I hope so. I mean, your property's looking pretty good, but you don't have anything to base it off of. You don't know if those deer were big last year or small.
Fair.
Went to Tractor Supply last week and bought a bag of oats and Big Sexy. Thank you. Can I broadcast the oats into my Dirty Bird plot, or should I terminate the Dirty Bird plot first? I'd probably terminate it first, but if there's some good browse pressure, maybe you could do it, but I would probably terminate it. Or maybe, if your plot's big enough, take a little fraction of it. Timmy, what is your favorite thing to make out of venison that is processed?
Ring bologna.
Ring bologna. My daughter will only eat venison. It's so funny.
I hammer tons of ring bologna.
It's crazy.
So good.
Can cranked be applied multiple times in a growing season? It sure can. Absolutely. Apply in the morning. Very little risk for burning with that. It's a 318-18. But apply it in the morning. It's a slow release too, so it's going to hang out your soil and feed your plot. What is the best drought tolerant product you sell?
Hot chick.
Yeah, that's a doozy. Bombshell's pretty good too, and our new forage oats are really good too. Hey guys, what's your thoughts on drilling smaller seeds? I don't do it personally, but I know guys will do it successfully. My only concern with really small seeds and drills sometimes, because you mentioned hot chicken comeback kid, chicory can be tricky, but also seed depth. Sometimes those drills don't like to go lower than 1/4 of an inch, and I like it to be less than 1/4 of an inch if you can. So brassicas are great because they're pretty good at 1/4 inch, but clovers can be tricky. Timmy, this guy, all I heard was penetration factor. That's all I read.
Go on.
You want to answer that one? What is the penetration? This one, no offense, I don't think you're going to know the answer.
Heavier arrow versus a lighter arrow?
What is the penetration factor of a heavier arrow compared to a lighter arrow?
I think it's more about what's on the tip.
If I still get passed through the lighter arrow, why do people use heavy arrows?
I think it's all. I think your broadhead has more. I think your broadhead weight has more to do it with it.
I think the heavier arrow gives you a little bit more FPE, a little bit of boom.
Little shapoom. I am not the expert. Go to A1 Archery.
Yeah, I don't pretend to be one either. Which seed mix needs the least maintenance once it's established? Ooh, I mean,
I'd go illicit.
No, illicit. I mean, you don't have to do anything there. No BS. You don't have to do much. I mean, in theory, once your clovers are growing, you don't have to do anything.
They'll do better if you mow them.
Yeah, I mean, everything will be better maintained. But I like illicit. That's a great answer. No BS is good too. Who's going to draw first blood this year on the domain team? I'm going to say Spinner because if he doesn't shoot something, then I'm not going to allow him to hunt ever again.
Well, the bulk of us
just a camera full of deer, and he's hunting before all of us.
So let's take this bet of Wisconsin tag. Who's going to draw first blood?
Well, Jake and I are gone during opener, so I can't. We won't be able to cut anything. You probably won't hunt opener. I'm going to say Easton.
Oh, that's actually a good bet.
I'm going with Easton.
He does look a little bucky.
I got $20 on Easton. Yeah.
If this buck keeps hanging around my place, I might show a whack him.
Maybe. I hope you do. That'd be awesome.
Then
is Jake Ergen finally okay with leaving his corn planting alone, or is he still thinking about trying to replant the corn? Oh, God. So, yeah, Luke, of course Luke said that. I think he's going to leave it, but you know what? That could change tomorrow if you know Jake. The other funny thing about Jake is Jake chased a really big deer for many, many years. And all Jake thought about was said deer. And now he's got another big deer on camera. So we've nicknamed it Houston. And I'll let you determine why.
Can I guess? We have a problem.
Yeah. These guys get bucky, they get sheddy, they get turkey. Is that real? Turkey? Strutty. Turkey.
We have the sheddy collection. Maybe we need a strutty collection.
We need a strutty. We need a ruddy. These guys just, I tell you. Do you shoot your does early with small fawns or wait until late season when they have a better chance at survival?
I've only killed a couple fawns. I don't really have a preference. Does. Does, not fawns.
With a straight face. I've only killed a couple fawns.
I've actually only killed 2 does in my life.
Between Robbie and the fawns, I mean, I don't think anyone's going to... This is bad. Like, he's just... Whew.
This is like what happens when I get in the midsummer lull, you know? No, I've only killed 2 does in my life.
I kill mine in late season selfishly because during the normal season, I'm just focused on bucks, and I love hunting late season. So it's probably better to kill them early, I've heard. I don't know. We have a doe factory. How do I attract more bucks? Shoot more does?
Whack them.
Yeah. Do you prefer applying seed to bare soil or going no-till and using thatch as a pseudo incubator? I mean, I do both. I love planting it in bare seed, but I love the idea of no-till in the thatch and holding moisture and all the things with it. So, Zachary, brother, whatever fits the way and style you want to do it, I think they'll both be successful. Showstopper in mid-Michigan, when to plant and what makes it a must-have on my hunting property? Tim? Showstopper, Michigan, why?
I love Showstopper for heavy graze pressure.
Love that. Love that.
So it's got the hybrid brassica. It's going to come back. Yeah. Doesn't attract fawns.
There you go. If I plant smackdown early August versus end of August, is there an advantage? So this is a great question, Chris, and I want to talk about it right now because when you asked Tim and I when I should plant, we might have our perfect dates, but you really have July 15th to October 1st. I mean, you have a long time depending on what you're planting. Now with brassicas, the cool thing about it is when you plant them will in theory dictate when deer will eat them because of the maturity of the plants. So planting them earlier will lead to, in theory, bigger bulbs, bigger plants, later attraction. So the earlier you plant them, the later you'll be on them in November, December. The later you plant them, the fresher growing greens will attract more deer early. So plant them late to attract them early. Plant them early to attract them late. If you've got multiple plots, I would consider planting them at different times. So you've got different plots that are maturing at different times, and you're creating attraction for a longer period of time. So
we've told that story about planting green machine like 3 weeks before bow opener, and I'm completely now I think we lucked out because we had rain. We had
absolutely.
really good timing there, but that buck just started showing up, and it started showing up the week of opener, and we got killed on opener. So
that was a pretty cool day. That was a pretty cool phone call from
my thing on brassicas, especially if you're trying to get into like August or whatever, is just, do you have rain? There's really no silver bullet there. If you put your seeds in and you have 3 weeks without rain, good luck. Like there's nothing, like 27,000 gallons of rain per half inch of rain. Yeah. So an acre is 27,000 gallons per half inch of rain.
So even if you're watering it, gosh, you got a long way to go.
That lower test plot last year, I was running sprinkler on it like all summer, and we were in our major drought, and it didn't come in very good.
All right, Timmy, favorite fall plot mix?
No BS.
I knew he was going to say that. Mine's Green Machine, but I'm trying to change my own mind because I had so much success with Wingman last year.
I do love Wingman.
That I'm going to plant it this year. Green Machine's still like one of those that just is near and dear to my heart. It is so freaking good because of all the plants in it mature different stages, which we just talked about. And like Timmy said, the first thing they're going to eat is the peas. You will never get a pea to maturity in Green Machine. Mark my words. But what it does is distract them from the radish, the rate. You've got winter oats, you got winter rye, you got a little bit of everything. It's so cool. And I love to intermix it with hot chicker comeback kid. It's a perfect nurse crop too. The following spring you'll get that winter rye coming back along with the clovers and the chicories. It's really good. So that one's doozy. There was one more in here too. Best mix to broadcast into corn. That can be tricky depending on how the corn was planted. If they're really narrow rows, it can be really tough. And then like a haul pass, because you're going to need winter rye or winter wheat. If they're wider rows that you planted, any one of our brassica mixes will work. The same goes for beans. We talk about this a ton, but virtually everything in front of us can be broadcast into standing beans. As they brown and the leaves fall, they will all grow. The later in the year you do it, the more you got to look at green machines and haul passes, things with grains, just to make sure you've got some green for sure. But it's a doozy. I'm in southern middle Tennessee. We're in a drought. You can have some of our rain. It's been rough. What can I do to prepare the soil plot to be a little more drought resistant? Watering is not an option. Do you have a sprayer? Dirty Deeds would be incredible. If you ever do get rain, it will allow your soil to retain more moisture. Elbow grease will also do that too. So of the liquid products, those two, you will see a difference year over year without question with that. Timmy, that might be all of them. I'm planting an acre of forage oats and thinking of planting wheat in it as a way to have a good spring crop. Would planting both together be... Yeah, I mean, you could 100% plant wheat and oats together, Rob. Full send on that bad boy. Timmy, I think that's everything. Should we pick a few winners?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Timmy, what are they going to win? What's first person going to win?
Let's go with some new. Let's go with some new liquids.
Ooh, which one?
We're gonna go with elbow grease.
Elbow grease to Eldon Halverson. Thanks for participating. Alden, if I said your name wrong, I apologize. So if you're not watching, you're going to have to rewatch, and then you're going to have to reply to us and email us, and we'll get you your goodies. And winner number two.
Wingman.
Oh, baby.
Jug of Wingman.
Wingman for Chris Hazen. This is the best. I didn't see Chris's comment, but it must be on here. This thing is, I tell you. Hopefully we answered both their questions, too. But Chris, reach out to us, and we will send you some Wingman. And last but not least, before we jump into random thoughts, why am I not seeing a lot of your customers in the group talking about doing no-till plots? I think we talk about it a lot, Peter.
Yeah.
I mean, don't we? I don't know. We don't drill a lot of stuff because we don't have the equipment, but we plant a lot of things without tilling. So I would encourage you to post some things about no-tilling, or if you have questions about it, reach out to us and we can help you talk through it. We're all for it in certain situations and scenarios, and we're all for riding on a tractor too.
Should somebody win Timmy? The turnip?
Should we send him the turnip?
Not me.
Send a big box if Timmy jumps out?
Like, we will sign Timmy the turnip, being me, will sign the turnip.
Ooh.
Maybe we put a little benefit together. We do a little auction.
For the turnip?
And people can bid on it with my signature on it. We could probably fetch at least $7.
Ew. I don't know. It'd be tough.
We'd freeze it before we sent it. They could put it on a salad. We could get that. We'll grow that, and then we'll get some kohlrabi and like have a nice salad.
Kohlrabi. Oh, God. This is funny. So talking about, not to change the subject because it's the same subject, talking about old Timmy here. So Corey Baker down in Buffalo County planted like 2 or 3 acres of floor sweepings. So every year, like, we sweep the floor. Right? I mean, old Timmy boy was part of the sweepings, and he planted it in his food plot down there. One of the best food plots I've seen in my entire life.
Gunner.
I mean, dog hair, you name all the things that were in there. Lord only knows. And that thing was knee high. Like, the turnips were basketball. It was insane. And it just made me laugh.
Remember when Gunner got our original floor sweep mix out of your garage?
100%. And remember how good it was?
It was phenomenal.
His best plot. So it's so funny. I mean, that stuff laid on the floor, got run over by the forklift. Like, got swept into the, like, it's so funny.
We got a bid for $7.
Oh.
Somebody already wants to buy the turnip.
$7. And then Harley, we got people want floor sweepings.
Oh my God.
Jake's got his floor mix. He said he could monetize it.
Yeah, I tell you. Yeah, and I want to say thanks to George. George spends a lot of time on our Domain Nation page answering a ton of questions, so I appreciate him doing that for us. Everybody does. That's the fun part about it. I'll be honest, that night sometimes I'll just scroll through it and I'm not amazed, but it's awesome to see everybody helping everybody on there. Like, I'll type on there, like, I don't know what to do. I've got this going on. And like 57 people jump to the page, like, try this, do this, do this, do that, do this, do that. Or it's like, hey, I got this heavier plot. I don't have any equipment. I don't know what to do. And 49 people hop on and be like, here's what I did. Here's what I did. It brings the goosies.
When it's not like
it's freaking sweet.
It's not like some of those pages where it's just a bunch of BS.
Yeah.
There. It's like,
the second there's BS, it's gone. Like, we get rid of the BS. It's all about just like show us your successes, show us your failures, ask for help, give help.
Yep. If
and
you don't, get the hell out.
Yeah, we'll get rid of you. It's so freaking cool, though. Like, it's just so freaking cool to see everybody helping everybody, because flute playing is freaking hard.
Yeah.
If it hasn't kicked in the nuts, it will. Trust me, it will. It's like the guy that says, I've never missed a deer. Okay, yeah, good luck. Like, it's the same thing. If you haven't failed in a flute plant, you haven't planted enough of them. So the cool thing about that Domain Nation page is, like, call any of us. Most of our recommendations are likely because we got our teeth kicked in. Like, I do it this way because I did it that way once and it didn't work.
Tried this.
Yeah, or Mother Nature. Last year, I planted my last food plot September 21st. It didn't rain for 70 days. Like, so sometimes you just, that's why, to your point, like, you're planting some of your plots right now because you know what? Last year, you got your teeth kicked in.
Yep.
And don't let anybody tell you it's too early.
It's not too early.
It's not too early. If you want to plant now, plant now. If you want to plant August 20th, plant August 20th. If you want to plant September 20th, plant September 20th.
We should make T-shirts that say "Plant when you want to plant."
Ooh, this is your land.
Yeah.
Plant when you want to plant.
Hit him with the.
I always say, like, people are like, when do you plant? Like, when I have time.
Yeah.
It's few and far between, but it's just the nature of the beast. I don't know where I was going with that. It was kind of a tangent.
Sometimes you need nature to come in and give it that old Haktua, Sometimes it doesn't.
I was hoping we were past Haktua.
That was probably the last reference of
I
it.
hope it is. Timmy, what state produces the biggest bucks?
Iowa.
Ooh.
Or probably maybe Kansas. A couple of those sleeper states. I think Wisconsin's still probably up there.
Wisconsin's right up there. It's the #1 booner state in the country.
I think that's because they...
By volume.
I think more people register booners. Like, you ever go down and see those farms down in Iowa? They're like, it's just a 170.
Well, here's the deal. Here's the actual reason. There's like fucking 50,000 tags in every year in Iowa. There's 900,000 tags in Wisconsin every year. Bigger deer, maybe in Iowa. More big deer in Wisconsin. There's more,
I love Wisconsin.
more tags, more people shooting stuff.
Well, don't come, or do come.
Yeah, I mean, do what you want. I love Kansas. I love that place. I'm an idiot and I don't apply it to Iowa, so I won't be allowed there for a while. I don't have any points. I bought a point once and I didn't buy the following year, and I lost it or some stupid thing.
I've had like 7 points in Iowa for like a long time.
If that's actually true, you should be archery hunting in Iowa.
I'm not.
Yeah.
That was a joke.
It takes, like, point creep is a real thing. And now it's like 5 or 6 points to get an archery tag. I hear. I'm not sure. But someday I'll do it. Someday I'm gonna.
We gotta get a little content weekend going down at the land here sometime. Get some
absolutely
some videos of the fellas.
Yeah, we got to get some planting done. We got a lot.
This is the grinder time of the year.
She's game on around here. The boys are working overtime. They're all staring at me just like they're ready to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, look at the peanut. It's been pretty quiet today. They've just been grinding. They've just been grinding.
I love it.
Cam's got a pretty good deer on camera too. He might be the first guy to draw blood in Wisconsin. It's the quiet ones in the back you got to worry about. Those are the ones he's got a brand new Matthews bow.
Easton makes me a little nervous.
He's squirrely there, yeah. He's one of those ones that'll just sneak up on you. Yeah. It's the ones that you don't think about. Those are the ones. I'm hopeful that this year, gun season was tough on the Domain squad. We're still trying to figure out who's going to be the first one to kill because nobody did. We all just held out for bigger deer. Archery is going to be different, I think.
Let's get a little bracket. Okay, we'll incorporate for Sam. We'll incorporate Minnesota.
Sam killed a good buck last year with his gun, but he wasn't in Wisconsin, so he didn't qualify. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we'll do it. We'll get a little like fantasy football, but fantasy hunting.
Yeah.
All right, I like that. When's our next Beers and Bucks? August at some point?
Yep, it's gonna be in August.
And then it'll be like flat out
almost to opener.
Planting season is full force.
And we're getting really antsy for bow opener.
Yeah, I mean we'll probably be a month out when we have our next Beers and Bucks. This weekend we are down in Birmingham, Alabama at the World Deer Expo. I can't remember our booth number, but it's on our page. Spencer, what is it? Remember?
25. 2411.
2411. We are right next to Whitetail Crossing, so that'll be fun. So book a hunt, talk seed, talk smart, bring us a cold beer. We like those. It's going to be fun. Spinner will be down there all weekend. And it'll be our first time at the World Deer Expo, so we're excited for Alabama to welcome us. It'll be a fun time. So, and then where do we go from there? We have 2 Texas Trophy Hunter shows in August. First one is Fort Worth. Second one is San Antonio. Those will be new for us too. So Spencer's going to be putting a lot of miles here in the next month and a half or so. We've got JJ and who else is going to be at the Shields event the first weekend in August in Eau Claire? Oh, Tyler Hardy. Those guys will be there Saturday and Sunday in Eau Claire. That's a lot.
A lot going on.
There's a lot going on. It's planting season. We got guys driving tractors, planting stuff. Continue to reach out to us on Domain Nation, Facebook, email. We can get hooked up with your closest retailer. We've got those on our dealer locator. They're all fully stocked, ready to rock. It's game on now. So all of our liquids aren't as stocked in dealers, but are online. We ship for free, and we can answer any questions. Cranked, freight train mixed together using Nebraskas. You can start your Nebraskas with cranked. They've got a seed starter, root developer. They're fantastic for that. And they're all slow release, so they're going to live in your soil and feed that plant over time. So reach out with questions. They are all in stock, and it's finally something that we can help you with instead of lugging around 500 pounds of lime or fertilizer. Although Timmy took a case pack off the shelf over there, and Python's got to work out.
Yeah, it's not light.
Oh.
Well, we'll see you all
Yeah.
next time.
Thanks for tuning in. Beers and Bucks. Appreciate you.